If you're working with midlife women and love solving problems of insomnia, weight gain, belly fat with exercise modifications made for menopause, and you want more midlife fitness clients or health coaching clients, then this episode is for you. You already realized that the time of day a woman exercises may determine how her hormones respond. She can improve or devastate her hormone status by the time of day she exercises. You're probably already advising women about the difference between lifting weights and lifting them according to bone building and metabolism building, boosting methods for women. But maybe you aren't as certain about how to help more women. You wonder how to market more effectively so you can make a bigger difference. Buckle that seatbelt, lace up your shoes, and let's go. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to what has been Fitness Marketing Mastery. Recently changed or about to She Means Fitness Business. And thank you all who voted. Well, this is where I share marketing and sales strategies that are anything but sleazy, salesy, and pushy so that you can build a life and the freedom in a business that you love. The goal is not to paint yourself so busy and into a corner that you can't enjoy the freedom in the business that you've built, but to do a balance of both, whatever that looks like for you. There is no one who can define it but you. No one defines success, and I highly encourage you to do that. Sit down with some paper and a pen, and yes, it works better than a keyboard, my friends, so that you can turn on what does success look like, because you can't run to a goal you can't actually see and feel. Is it a monetary dollar amount, and why is that? Is it so you can have a bigger, more beautiful house so that you can hire more help for your house and do the things you really want to do? Is it so you can travel more? Is it so you just have a better nest egg and more sense of security for yourself? Is it something entirely different? You just want to contribute, love the sense of purpose that doing this gives you. You have to define it for yourself, but you also need to put a dollar amount on it if it is a monetary thing, because the only way that you can get there is actually figuring out what are you going to offer, to how many people do you have to offer that to, what is that going to look like, and getting the support that you need to do it. So I highly encourage you to do that and then dive into this, especially if you're working with midlife women. This is for you. Right now, I'm going to give you 20 ways, 20 tips to more midlife female clients. And this is post-pandemic. We all have to keep that in mind. And some of us will say, well, wait a minute, it's not over yet. And that may be very true. We don't know. We don't know what's around the corner, but we do know that things are changed. And the reasons that people need to exercise have grown. They haven't shrunk. So important to consider in your marketing messages that you're also not repeating messages that you were giving 10 years ago or 5 or even 4 or 3. Because the world changed so much that you also have to change and adapt. But let's rifle through these. So here we go. I was not kidding. We're going to give you a little break at each quarter. You got to huddle up. Okay. So number 1 is become the expert. Education above and beyond. Nothing comes before this. So everything I'm about to say after this assumes you have the goods as much for yourself as for anyone. When you know, and you have something to say, your voice is strong. If your voice is soft, if you lack confidence because of what somebody might think if they overheard you, then you better double down on education. Because even if it is very true that it doesn't take a master's degree or a PhD to make a lot of money, in fact, there are a lot of people with only a high school education who made lots more money than anybody with a PhD. Yes, very true. I'm making far more than I was banking just on my master's degree in an academic arena. There was a ceiling. There is none here. So you've got to think about it. Just don't do it to a fault. But that master's degree or that next course or certification may be something you need to do to turn a confidence corner. If that's true, let yourself do it, but hold yourself accountable. Every time you do it, realize, wait a minute, I'm not doing this for a fault, right? So this is where trainers get stuck on overcompensating for some feeling that they aren't enough by taking more and more courses and certifications. That isn't going to fill up a confidence hole. So if you need a coach, get a coach. Work on you and your personal sense of self. Know which kind of education and training you need before you go investing in some that will never get you the outcome or get you over the real problem. Okay, so number 2, create relationships with experts. Now, number 1, let me just reframe. That was having the education and kind of in second sight to that, knowing when you've got it. But sometimes the education you need is confidence. Number 2 is create relationships with experts. Doctors, the dentists in your community, the coaches, the authors online that serve your audience are golden resources for you, and you are for them. Connect with them, serve them, like and comment and share their posts. If you agree with them, leave it alone. If you don't need to argue. That puts you on their radar. Ask to do a live social with them on social and answer audience questions. There's always a way to do this that sets you up for success. Once you connect by serving and giving, you can explore opportunities for referrals or affiliate promotions or collaboration. You now have made a friend. Number 3, leverage social media. Don't waste it. When you have a message that they need and they're looking for, use it. Avoid common mistakes like incorrect use of hashtags, failure to warm up your feed before you're posting, and other mistakes that really don't use, say, Instagram or an Instagram post in the way that it's really going to benefit you. Are you aware of the platform secrets for engagement? You need to be. So you're leveraging your social media. You're not just there. Number 4 is avoid pitching on social media. The fastest way to kill your social media success is to share programs. Use it like an ad for your webinar when it's not an ad. Paid ads are fine, but your organic reach is going to be stifled by you putting in your timeline. Program starting soon. Here's join my webinar, start this program. All of those kinds of things are just like, people are like, blah, right? I mean, they go there to see fun, funky, sexy photos, funny things. They go there to laugh. Make sure you understand the platform you are on and the purpose of it. If your likes, your shares, and your comments are not growing and you've been doing the same kind of, pardon me, but crap over and over again for months, it's time to change it, sister. Okay. Number 5, build your email list. If you aren't working on this daily with a juicy freebie, then you should be. And I'm going to give you a link about how. So it's the ultimate freebie of freebies it's a freebie I created for you, just tracking for you on how to build freebies, what kind of platform you may want to use to deliver that freebie, and how to get to what is going to be most juicy for the ideal client and customer that you have. If you have a freebie, but it's not converting, and how do you know that? So what did I just say? Hopefully you know that you're looking at the amount of traffic coming to a page and then comparing that to the number of leads, people who've actually opted in and gotten it by giving you your email address. You're looking at that and saying, okay, are we converting by 10%, 20%, 50%? Because by the time people come there, you're giving them the link in juicy content you've already shared. You should have a pretty good idea of what they really want, and you should have a high conversion rate. But if you have less than, say, 40% conversion rate, you probably haven't read or you don't know your audience very well. Okay, so building your email list, that is how you do it. One of the number one ways. So there's both the science of knowing how to help when you get them, and then there's the art of knowing who you work best with and who you repel. I gladly give client leads to, say, our Flipping 50 fitness specialist when I know that somebody is not the right match for me. There's an abundance of midlife fitness clients who need help. Be open to the idea that you alone are not the only and best solution every time, because there are people that you'll take them on and it's kind of draining for you. You don't want that. No, nobody wants that. So allow yourself to say, this isn't my ideal client. That's not the way I work with people. What it is they want, I can't provide. Great. Have a network, somebody that you refer to that you know is highly qualified that might actually want them. Okay, there you have it. That was our first quarter huddle up. All right. Number 6 is send consistently valuable emails. And this is where a lot of fitness professionals fall off the wagon. Like they don't email any more than maybe once a week. I don't know about you, but if I don't call a friend or text with a friend in these times at least once a day, it's a little odd. I mean, we're in touch in some way daily. So an acquaintance, I don't know what happened to that word, but an acquaintance that you're trying to make a stronger relationship with, you're going to need to increase the frequency. One time a week is probably not going to cut it. It's a start, but it's probably not the best plan. Okay, once a week is minimum. If you just called your best friend once a week, wouldn't that be weird? Consider bumping it up to 2. See what happens. You can always watch. Do they unsubscribe? Or maybe it actually helps your open rate. Valuable means, though, not a sales pitch every time. If that's all it is, like you're just sharing, hey, this program's open, you should do this. Towels are on sale, whatever you might say. Most of us would just say, no thanks. We would hit delete, unsubscribe, and never really read. So there you go. Okay. Number 7, get media exposure. This is one of the first places I'm going to tell you that you need to be talking, using your voice. Every local news station needs news to fill their program every single day. If you have news and it's, by the way, it's not your book or your program or your business, that's not news to them, but real news. Like maybe you have a guest speaker coming in to talk about something and they're talking about sleep and it's National Sleep Month, or you have somebody coming in to talk about osteoporosis and it's National Osteoporosis Day. That's a news event that actually might be covered. And so it's got to be timely. It's got to be relevant. It literally has to be news and feel like news. What recent research study is relevant to your work and to their audience? And that the key here, though, is it was recently released, or you're going to be talking about balance and the likelihood of falling and slipping if you don't have good balance because it's now icy outside. You're talking about that and you're using a research study that was released 5 years ago. It's not brand new, but you're doing this in October and November when it's getting icy. Now it's relevant. Okay. So timely. And by the way, women in midlife are often still watching the news on TV. So go for it. It's not actually the appearance on the news anyway, by the way, it's what you do with it after. So before pandemic, 2019, the beginning of the year, I was traveling for, I don't know, I didn't sleep in my bed like 30 days out of 90 because I was traveling so much, doing media appearances about fast twitch muscle fiber metabolism after midlife. And I still am sharing those, and they still are getting a lot of hits. And that is what you want to be doing, is how are you going to promote using those things later? Number 8, write or present for the fitness industry. There are a dozen industry conferences that you can apply to speak at, to share your expertise. If you have something special that you've done and you can teach other trainers or health coaches to do, a special workout, you've grown your social media in a certain way, you made X amount of dollars with a specific marketing strategy, it's worthy of an application. Don't say no for somebody else. This is just like selling to a consumer. Don't in your mind say no for them, because sometimes it's the most unlikely people will pull out money and say, I want the 3-year VIP, right? So don't judge a book by its cover. And that happens more than it doesn't, right? Some people will tend to overdress who actually can under afford, and others who are very comfortable in their own skin can afford it, dress down just to be comfortable, right? So think about, not saying no for anyone. Don't make up anybody's mind for them. If you formed great relationships with physical therapists and you have a unique referral process, that's something other fitness professionals can benefit from. I started teaching trainers the difference between coaching boundaries versus personal training. This was back in 2000. And I've been presenting at major associations like IDEA, CanFit Pro, NSCA, MedFit, Filex, SCW, Club Industry, and Fitness Fest ever since. It just takes one good idea, one conference to get started, and then you've always got that. Where else have you presented? Well, here, right? And then here and here, right? And then it's like, well, we want you too, kind of thing. Number 9 is make one call every day. If you want to get more fitness clients, I don't care what demographic, this is the one thing. It's the easiest way on earth to get clients. Few trainers or health coaches will do it. Trainers have paid me for private masterminds. This was the homework on day 1 and not done it. And then wondered, how am I going to reach that monetary goal I had? Are you making the calls? Well, no. Yep. So we know exactly what it is, and yet we don't do it. The people who are successful do these things. We do all the time. We're not over and above them. We do the things that put ourselves out there. We risk embarrassment. We try things that we don't know will work. And then we may fail, but we do it quickly. And then we get up and go again and try something else. It's you, if you're afraid of failing, so you don't try, that stay stuck. And that is the darn truth. All right. So when you ask for help, you're given help. You have a choice. Fewer than 2% of people follow through. 9 out of 10 fitness businesses still go out of business, or it's still a hobby, taking a loss at tax time 5 years later. If that continues much after 5 years later, by the way, the IRS doesn't like that. Number 10, be your brand. Whew. Okay, so lessons learned here. Work on your personal presentation in public. Look, I mean by your presentation, not speaking here in this case, but your representation, maybe a better word. Look, I lived in a relatively small town before college and then moved to college town after 30 years there. It felt also pretty small to me. And yet it was, 48,000 people bigger when students were there. But I'd worked there for 30 years. I had taught fitness in every possible venue. And I'm talking at the Y, I'm talking in church basements, I'm talking about stages in university auditoriums, as well as exercise clinics and private gyms and corporations. You name it. I mean, I had probably had my finger in it. Everybody knew who I was. So it was like a small town all over again. And then I moved to Boulder, and about 6.5 years later to Scottsdale. I love the anonymity until here you go. I'm in line at Walgreens last summer. And again, this happened to me at the airport, about ready to board. And a woman says to me, like kind of sheepishly, she's like, "Do you have a website?" Or the other one said, "You look just like someone I follow online. She has this website. It's called Flipping 50." And I'm just like, yep, that would be me. I mean, I can't make this up. But in both cases, also cannot make this up. It had been a busy day in business and I slapped on a visor. I had probably worked out and not showered yet. No makeup, just getting done what I had to do, like getting a prescription filled before, it's too late and they threaten you. And I had to board a plane just quickly to run to St. George for the Iowa World Championships. And all I was going to do is get off the plane, go to my hotel, and, then it was end of day. But there you have it. My point, I was not representing either of those times. In fact, was hoping to fly under the radar, not be recognized, but you don't get to choose when you will be recognized. So make sure you're comfortable if it happens. I've decided I go on camera that way too. The message for me is more important than me being made up, having eyelashes on and mascara and being flawless, having my hair done. I'm comfortable with that, and it's actually part of my brand, but you may not be. So if you're the spokesperson for your own business, I urge you to decide. All right, so it's halftime. Are you ready? So you're doing great. One of the best organic sources of traffic for me was YouTube for 8 years, until, that is, the pandemic, and everybody is on YouTube because there wasn't another best choice. However, the foundation that you lay there, even though it's more crowded now than ever, that will support your efforts forever. While consistency isn't a fast game, it is always the best game. Call somebody daily. No one else does. Do videos 2 or 3 times a week and keep doing it. Nobody else does that either. You will win doing these small things. Find something. You're going to do it and do it consistently. Commit. Even if you have the flu. Even if it's just you're not feeling it. Even if you do it anyway. Number 11, going into the third quarter here, by the way, talk about the pandemic. So I alluded to this earlier. Your message has to change. You cannot be just, barking at the same message about getting fit, living longer, living better, losing weight today in the way that you talked about it in 2019. It's not going to work. So listen, this is stupid. Few trainers and health coaches are using this in marketing strategies, and it's ridiculous. Seriously, get on it. The problems today are not the same problems pre-pandemic. Acknowledge it. Offer a solution. Talk about it. Because if you're just talking about, hey, getting fit and this new program, and now it's going to be summer and we all want to go sleeveless, we still got to address the last 2 years have changed everything. It's hard for people to get restarted. People are feeling like they've gained the 15 to 20 pounds that may be their reality. Number 12, offer free presentations to women's groups. Every women's group has a presentation almost as often as they have a meeting. Generally, that's a monthly occurrence. Often it's during 9 months of the year, excluding summer, depending on the group. There may be months off, but that's 8 at least opportunities for you to let it be known that you can talk about exercise and motivation, benefits of fill in the blank, your type of training. Bone density, for example, suggest, hey, just so that you know, in case your group is looking for a speaker, October is breast cancer month, but it's also, National Osteoporosis Day is in that month. We could look at National Sleep Month and talk about that. as it's related to helping you get your exercise goals met, blah, blah, blah. Suggest some specific times of day. And yeah, of course, everybody's going to go for January. Maybe that's the best month, but give some other options so they know you have a wide variety of things you can talk about. 13, team up with organizations for charity, potentially. Charity events are held annually in every town, city, and online. Find ones that resonate with your female fitness clients. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, American Heart, or cancer-related events are a good start. Your local hospital and auxiliary or others. Be present to demonstrate how exercise or wellness reduces risk or improves outcomes. You can get in front of an audience who cares about health and about community. Number 14, get on video. So on social media, on your website pages, and anywhere you can do it, video is the easiest way to do what you do best. You teach, you explain, you design exercise programs that are effective. Or as a coach, you provide clarity and support clients making changes. So make sure that you demonstrate it on video, capture it there, and then share it or mark it. 15 is write a book. So those of you who are thinking, no video, please, no video. Anyone can write a book today. The barrier to self-publishing is very low. Once you write it, it's about marketing it shamelessly to get it in as many hands as possible. And a book, well done, immediately builds credibility for you. That includes references, expert interviews, story, and reviewers. You want to get it all. So you don't skip anything just because you self-publish. The complete process is not a quick fix, but you can flesh out your outline for a home run book quickly if you really know your customer. And you can do it a couple of things. If you love to write and you got to know you're good at it, okay? Both things. Write it. If you're not, think about speaking it and just transcribe and have someone else fix it and write it and organize it for you. Okay, we're about to go into the fourth quarter, but first, more midlife female clients or health coaching clients come from the trail that leads them to you. When they get there, it's about your voice. Are you speaking the same rate as they are? I mean, the same speed and pace in this case, making them feel more relaxed and more confident. They've found the answer in you. Test your voice, your literal voice. I don't just mean your proverbial, find your voice. If it sounds childlike when you listen to it in playback, you can't trust yourself. Your own ears are a really bad example, by the way. But you want to ask somebody else, so what do you think of my voice? Literally. And I've been fortunate. Now, it may sound like claws on chalkboard to you, but I've been complimented about my voice. And it's ironic, and it certainly wasn't on purpose. The Voice for Fitness Professionals was the name of this podcast originally. This is like 9 years ago when it was first established. And it didn't mean like me and this voice. What it meant was I'm going to stand up for this fitness industry. And I'm going to call us out when we're making mistakes. And I'm going to work with you to strengthen this fitness industry and the choices that people have. That's the name or the meaning behind the title. But it's been interesting to know that I've been asked to MC things and I've been told that I have the greatest voice. And who knew, right? Because when I listen to my voice, I really don't like it. But I've also worked on it a little bit. So there is a way that I want to sound. And that has more to do with you and where that voice and that air flow comes from than it does, say, your microphone. So those tools are important too, but it doesn't take an arm and a leg to get it right. Test your voice, your actual voice, and see if you can work on it. Ask other people's opinions. Because if you sound childlike or you sound hesitant, you actually just may need to be a little more prepared so you know what it is you're going to say. You may need to get that conviction behind the voice because you become far more convincing when you are not afraid to say out loud what it is you have to say. But if you're speaking quietly in the corner, those were always the trainers that I was worried about. I was worried that they weren't sure what they were telling their clients. And I was really worried that they were an extension of me, our department, our club, and that was always made me nervous, and I believe made their clients nervous as well. So work on that voice, work on your confidence that you feel you know your stuff. Okay, last quarter. Are you ready? 5 more. Number 1, trademark your system. Now, this is going to take an investment, but you should have a unique method, a system, protocol that's proven to work. You want to have clients who can give you testimonials that it's worked for them. You want to create video about why you created it. You want to talk about a single step in a presentation and mention this is just one of 5 or 3 or 4, depending on how many you have, that you have. So hear that again. When you give a presentation, so you get yourself booked at one of those women's groups. So you talk about, you've got this 5-step program, quote unquote. Maybe it's not 5, maybe it's 7, maybe it's 3, but you go deep into one. Go ahead and share it. It's okay. They don't have the other 2 or 4 or 5. They have just that one though. And if you give very generously in that one, lots of ahas, and they realize, oh my gosh, what else don't I know? That's really what you need to do. That's what you're doing when you give a freebie. And if you're just like skimming the surface, that's probably not going to work really well for you. But in that system that you've got, that method, that formula, trademark it. Put some money in it because somebody else could take it and use it if you don't. 17 is define your niche and stick to it. The mistake most trainers make is thinking they can serve anybody and that getting specific will narrow their reach. The opposite is true. You won't attract anybody with an everybody message. If a reader, a viewer, or a listener doesn't see themselves in you and your message, they aren't going to take up the next step. They're just not going there. So they've got to see that they're a little bit like you. You're like them. They have to want to kind of be like you. And this is really an important piece. So stick to your niche. Don't spread yourself around and think you're an expert in everything. 18, make it easy to start. We make it so hard. Just reduce the barrier. It might be a free something or a money back guarantee. That reduces the barrier. You believe in yourself so much that you would say that, like the empty jar, bring back the empty jar. And if you say you don't like it, you'll get a refund. That's a pretty good offer, right? 19 is go beyond free trial or free consultation. Do a free class for charity, potentially. Meet clients where they are with a less intimidating first contact. Did you know? A free trial or free consultation can be pretty intimidating for somebody who really needs you. They're not going to come in and feel maybe like they'll be judged. You may never do that or intend on it, but that's how it feels, right? That they're going to come in and be told they need to start doing something and what they're doing is not working and it doesn't feel good. So the ones that really need you are not likely to register for that free consultation as you might think. That's a big step for them, but a small challenge or a video or ebook that involves solving a problem for them is easier. It's a more convenient way to stick their toe in the water and learn whether they trust you or not. Last but not least, number 20 is always market. Whether it's paid ads you keep rolling in Facebook or it's a partnership with someone in town, you'll always want to need new leads. The most successful keep the lead sources always nurture it and never stop, right? So you get those leads on your email list. You have to email them, communicate. If you had too many clients and you couldn't service them, wouldn't that be a fun problem? Then you'll need 10 ways to serve more clients in less time, right? And I'll work on that podcast for you, by the way. You just tell me when you're ready, and I'll tell you if you can serve 10. You can serve 100. You can serve 1,000. And if you can dream and you have the vision, you can serve 10,000 or 100,000. You first have to see it. I've worked with women, even in our mastermind, who were, they had 10 people and they just didn't know how they were going to serve anymore. Like, that was a lot of emails when people coming in. And I'm like, are you sending them one at a time? Like, this is why we have a CRM. You can automate that. So this is why you need a coach or a mastermind. So you realize, getting more clients doesn't have to mean more work. You learn how to do it more efficiently. The best way to attract midlife fitness clients that you can help is grow your support of them first. Gain confidence and strength in your voice. Gain the knowledge that you need to do that without getting stuck thinking what you need is one more certification or degree. Start talking. You already know truths that most likely somebody else needs to know. Okay, all of the links that you need for today will be at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/more midlife clients. So we're going to include additional podcasts that you might want to listen to, resources from this episode. In fact, I've got a 5-day flip just for fitness pros on how to market to more midlife clients. It's taking all of the juiciest content from, what has it been now? 25 to 30 years of helping fitness instructors, then personal trainers grow their businesses. And what we've used most recently in 12-week and 12-month masterminds. And I've condensed it, taken all the best stuff and put it into 5 days, 5 doable, realistic, doable days for you, busy woman. But you do have to do the homework. So it doesn't do itself. You have to do it. And if you will, I promise you, you will have far better marketing results based on having gone through it. So we'll put the link for that and the link to building the freebie that is gold for you. If you're working with midlife women and your challenge is helping them balance their hormones, I will put a link to the menopause fitness specialist as well. All right, what are you waiting for? The world needs us right now more than ever.